Top of the day to you, and welcome to the March edition of The Place to Be Oshkosh. I am your host, John Neiman, and I'm so glad that you could join us for this March edition of our show. The decor in here is green, and it's shamrocks, and it's vibrant, and we're all hoping for spring and wonderful times. So thank you for being with us. As always, I want to start by thanking my sponsors, Karen at the Oshkosh Herald. A wonderful, wonderful community newspaper, comes out on Wednesdays, also online. There's so much in it. And how do they stay afloat? It's by sponsors and people taking out ads and people reading the newspaper. So keep it up. Keep up the good work, Karen. Also, I have to talk about the Friends of OCM, of Oshkosh Media. I've been with them for a long, long time. I started out as a board member and helping with events. They are great, they are wonderful, and I do truly appreciate their support for the show. And finally, our set decor is from Brian at UBloom. And if you're ever looking for something unique, Brian does the most unique arrangements, very affordable. And he not only has silk and live, but he has clothes, and he has jewelry, and he has candy, and he has food, and he has so much stuff in there. So if you ever get a chance, go to UBloom, and they will take very, very good care of you. Tell Brian I sent you. Then, where can you see us? Where can you see this show? Well, on Spectrum Channel 2, you can see us on Oshkosh Media Life TV. Also, go to YouTube and just put in Oshkosh Media, and you'll find the shows on there. And please like the show, because my kids will always look at the show and say, Dad, how many likes did you get? And I know they're being a little sarcastic when they're saying that. So come on, let's go out and like that show. But like all the shows that are on Oshkosh Media, because they're all great and from local producers. Also, you can download the free app on Roku, Amazon Fire, and Apple TV. So plenty of opportunities to see my show and all the rest of the shows. Some community updates for you. Yes, the Downtown Care Team is going on and going strong, and wonderful time. So if you're ever around Monday mornings or Friday mornings from 8 till 9, please join us. We go by the library, we go by the Leach, we go by the waterfront, we go down Main Street, we go by the Sundial, and we just pick up cigarette butts, pick up garbage. Weather dependent, but we do go out in the winter. Has to be 36 degrees or more, and you're going to see us out there taking care of Oshkosh. We want to give back to the community that gives so much. Also, please put these dates on your calendar. You all know how I feel about volunteers. Volunteers are the backbone of any organization, and Oshkosh has some great volunteers. So April 20th through April 26th is Volunteer Recognition Week. And that's your chance, even though I know you all do a good job during the year, it's your chance to specially thank all those volunteers in your organizations or your churches. Part of that is the Volunteer Center of Oshkosh and this website, which is run by the United Way. So if you're looking for volunteers or you have volunteer opportunities, go to the United Way's Volunteer Center of Oshkosh website, and they'll be glad to get you started on volunteering. And before we go to our guest, I just want to remind everybody about the Help for the Homeless drive is still going on. That is the drive where if you go out into our wonderful city, you'll find collection boxes all over in churches, in businesses, at festival, at Walgreens, and it's a chance for you to donate and give back. There are 9 not-for-profits on my committee, and all of the items that we collect in those boxes will be sorted and given to those 9 agencies so they can reach out to help those in need. And I want to give a special shout out to Valley Christian. Valley Christian has been our sorting site for the last couple years. The sorting day is March 20th at Valley Christian. And if you're interested in helping us sort and count all the items, or we're also looking for someone who maybe just wants to take video or pictures for us so we have those wonderful memories, please see me. My email's on the screen. My number is 920-279-9873. Like I said, the need is there. It's definitely there because Last year, we had 5 not-for-profit agencies as part of our committee. This year, we have 9, which means we really need to do good and to do more than last year. And I have faith in our community. Born and raised in Oshkosh, I love this city. It's caring, it's compassionate, and it always comes through. If you want any more information, you know you always can contact me, and I will get back to you as soon as possible. Well, that's it for my community news. Stay tuned, and we'll be back with our guest for our second segment of our March edition of The Place to Be Oshkosh. And we're back, our March edition of The Place to Be Oshkosh. I'm your host, John Neiman. Wonderful guest. We're going to talk about the Oshkosh Public Museum, and we have the director here, and I'm going to have Anna talk a little about herself. I didn't even want to try your name. I didn't want to try. That's why I just kept saying, introduce yourself. But if you want to say your name, how long you've been there, and why you went to the museum.
Yeah, sure. Well, thanks for having me on. This is my first time being on this program. I'm really excited. I took lots of mental notes for your dates, especially Volunteer Recognition Week at the Oshkosh Public Museum. We have wonderful volunteers, so I'm going to make sure to do that. Yeah, I'm Anna Cannizzo. I'm the director at the Oshkosh Public Museum. I always tell people my last name, the Z's are like pizza. Cannizzo. So Anna Cannizzo, and even though I'm the newly seated director, I was seated at the very end of June in 2024.
Oh, okay.
I always joke and say I'm new-ish because I've been at the museum for 10 years now. I started in 2014 as the Duro Curator of Collections, and eventually continued to be promoted, was the Assistant Director, Chief Curator for a bit, and then had the opportunity to go for the director position, and I was so excited to get that position, and I'm really honored to be the 6th director of the Oshkosh Public Museum in 100 years. So that's pretty incredible.
That is amazing, and I'm so glad you're not wearing your name tag, because you could not get all that information on your name tag. What I love about this story, and I didn't know that, what I love about your story is that they promoted within. Mm-hmm. Instead of going, a lot of companies go outside and bring someone else in, but why not promote the person who's been there, who's worked her way up and knows the history? That is really, really cool. Yeah. Congratulations.
Well, thank you.
And welcome.
The city of Oshkosh is really, I know that's something they endeavor to do, is have opportunity for their employees to be promoted within if possible. And so I was incredibly grateful. I had actually served as interim director 2 times during the retirement of longtime director Brad Larson, and more recently the resignation of Sarah Phillips. So I had a bit of practice, and I was well prepared, and I'm really excited about it.
And I do want to say, we talk a lot in this community how things have changed, because before, people had their silos up. You know, I am this and I do this and don't touch it. You know, don't ask me to help you. Mm-hmm. But the museum has never been like that. When I was at the Paint Arts Center with my wonderful volunteers there, and then community outreach, and then membership, like add to the name tag.
Yeah.
I worked with the museum quite a bit, and it was wonderful to work with the staff.
Wonderful.
Because they're so close. The paint and the museum are so close, kitty corner from each other.
Yeah.
And to work with people like that who are proud of what they do and proud to tell their story is wonderful. So.
Oshkosh is incredibly fortunate to have, several wonderful museums, and that corner with us, and then the Payne Kitty Corner. It's really just this great destination to experience some of the beautiful, rich culture of Oshkosh and its history and its artwork, and it's a great spot to just go from one to the other and take yourself to EAA at their museum,
Right.
and the Morgan House, which is right over here by City Hall. There's some wonderful, and the Veterans Museum. I could just keep listening. I mean,
Right.
we have some wonderful organizations here in Oshkosh.
And then I did hear a rumor, don't quote me on this, but I heard a rumor that they're thinking of starting a children's museum.
I did hear a little bit about it, but I don't know the details
I don't know the
yet.
details either, but I keep thinking Fond du Lac has a great one, Appleton has a great one. That would be another museum to embrace.
The more museums, the better
Yep.
to me.
Yeah,
So.
I think so too. And I also want to say too, I like, I go there quite a bit, when you guys do the plant sale for the
Oh yeah,
Master
the Garden Club.
The Garden Club.
We host the Garden Club. The Garden Club graciously helps us maintain some of the garden areas
Oh.
around the museum. There's several really nice spots, and so we have that kind of reciprocal relationship that they help with some of our gardens.
Some of your beautiful gardens.
Yep.
I didn't know that about them. I
Yeah.
just always went to buy plants.
Yeah.
So, wow.
Yep.
And that is in May, I think.
I believe it's in May.
So we're in March, people. And that's a gorgeous picture right there.
Yes.
But remember, spring is coming.
Yes, and it'll be held. It's as far as I know, it's still scheduled, but
Oh, good.
yeah. So we're still working out some of those details. So yeah.
So let's talk about, I'm old. Let's face it, people, I'm old. But the Apostles' Clock.
Yes.
We went there from Grace Lutheran School. We went there just to see the clock.
Mm-hmm.
So was there a point where there was a fire and the clock could have been damaged, but it was saved?
Yep. So we were really fortunate. That was a little bit before my time, but when I arrived to staff in 2014, a number of the staff were actually existing staff were working there when the fire happened. So they told me lots of stories, and I just am in awe of the work that they did to ensure that place was preserved and maintained. But yeah, the Apostles' Clock, minimal damage, bit of upkeep. The museum only.
Anna, you have power here. I don't. You talk, and it's on the screen.
And the Apostles' Clock, it's a community treasure. It's iconic to the museum. I like to say that a lot of museums have kind of an iconic piece that when you go, it's you have to experience it, or you have to see it before you leave to make your visit complete. And I
Right.
know the Apostles' Clock is that for a lot of people. It's been around well over 100 years. It's still operational, and it's a beautiful piece of functional folk art created by Matthias Kitz, and it's actually made from a lot of repurposed materials. So maintaining the clock has been a challenge over the years. So we do give it regular maintenance, and as things have worn out or broken, we have had to be really creative in trying to keep it alive for people to continue to experience. So there have been periods of time that we've had to have extended maintenance because we've had to make big repairs to it. But it is, we keep it going every day. I joke that, it keeps its own time sometimes. Some people are like, why isn't it on time? And I let them know, I said, every time it chimes, it kind of goes back a few minutes. So by the end of the day, it's running like 10 or 15 minutes behind. But I mean, by the end of the day, who isn't?
Right.
I mean,
that's exactly. Oh my, that's a good point.
And if I was 100 and some years old, I would only wish to be running as well as the Apostles' Clock.
You've earned it. You've deserved it.
Yeah. So
we just saw that picture with the interior. You want to talk about the interior?
Sure.
Of the house?
Yeah.
It's gorgeous.
Yes.
The woodwork.
Yes. So the museum is part historic home and then part more modern wing. So the museum was established in 1924. It was the home of Edgar and Mary Sawyer, very prominent people in Oshkosh. And they donated their home to the city of Oshkosh in 1922. And so the museum was established in 1924. The unique part of the home, it's beautiful, is that the interiors were designed by Tiffany Studios, the famous Tiffany Studios of the lamps and the beautiful stained glass. So what a lot of people don't realize is that Tiffany Studios did interior design work. So the historic Sawyer home of the museum, the lower level and the grand staircase and upper hallway were designed by Tiffany Studios. So an interior designer came. So that's why we have these beautiful stained glass windows. We have 2 of them. They were designed actually by prominent Disney, not Disney, sorry, prominent Tiffany Studios designer Agnes Northrup. Fascinating figure. So the museum has the beautiful landscape window as well as the wisteria arch.
Gorgeous.
The really unique part of that is that there aren't many Tiffany interiors that still remain. Tiffany Studios did rooms. I believe they did it at the White House, designed rooms at the White House at one time. They no longer exist. But there are only 4 commissions still around of Tiffany Studios designed interiors in situ. 2 of them are redesigns. One of them is the Mark Twain home. Another is a private residence in Seattle. And then there are 2 original commissions. We have the Ayer Mansion in Boston and your very own Oshkosh Public Museum at the historic Sawyer home.
What a thing to boast about.
Yeah,
you know?
so it's not just a local treasure. I mean, I know it's treasured in the hearts of the community so much. People tell me all the time how much the museum has meant to them and the memories that they have there. But it's a really important state, national, and global treasure because the Tiffany interiors at the Oshkosh Public Museum is the only original commission that's still available to see by the public. The Ayer Mansion recently was closed and went up for private sale. So you have this amazing treasure here in Oshkosh that survived that fire in 1994 and went through extensive restoration, and we're still working on that. But we have this amazing treasure here in Oshkosh that the community should be incredibly proud that they contribute to its preservation and upkeep. So it's truly a public museum. It's Oshkosh's museum.
Right. I do have to say, by trade, I'm a pastor, and one of my friends that I was going to marry wanted to get married at the museum on the staircase. And I was just like in awe. It was like you're standing, to me it was like you're standing in a castle.
Yeah.
And the beauty and the pictures turned out really, really well, and they're still married.
So it's a lucky. It's lucky
it's lucky too, but it's just gorgeous. You talked about being proud of it too. A lot of my volunteers that I've had at other places were volunteers with the ladies groups at the museum. Very proud, very dedicated on what they did and how they took care of it. So congratulations to that.
Well, thank you. And it's still a work in progress. I mean, we're working to continue to preserve the interiors, to restore some of the lost elements and furnishings of the historic home that over the years they've just were removed because they were making it into more of a gallery-like museum instead of a historic home. And so in recent years, they've shifted back. So we are consistently working on restoring and preserving this amazing local treasure. So we're pretty proud of it.
So it's March. So what can people expect in March?
Well, in March, we have our wonderful encore presentation of the Helen Farnsworth Mears exhibition, Helen Farnsworth Mears, A Genius of Wisconsin, which is in our newly renovated Waldwick Gallery. So we're incredibly proud of this. We opened the gallery in November of 2024, right at our 100th anniversary. We celebrated our centennial last year, and this was the inaugural. We brought this back by popular demand. We actually won a Board of Curators Award from the state for this exhibition. And so when we won the award, a lot of people wanted to see it, and it was no longer up, so we thought it'd be great to bring it back. We have 4 wonderful pieces on loan from the Payne Art Center and Gardens, our wonderful neighbor. So it's incredible. Helen Farnsworth Mears was she was an incredible artist, local artist, came from a very artistic family, and so you get to learn all about her artistry, her story, because the unique part about this exhibition is that it's told from really their words. And there were a lot of rumors about Helen Farnsworth Mears that when she passed, at her very untimely passing, that she was depressed and she was destitute, and that was the circulating story. And we acquired a enormous archive that belonged to her sister Mary Mears, who traveled with her, was her companion, was kind of like her manager, and Mary kept incredible notes. We have very detailed notes, ledgers with sales of her sculptures, and letters, and just photographs, incredible archive. So we used that archive to curate this story. So you are hearing their own words from their letters, the details about them describing their own art. And so it's an amazing history of this wonderful Oshkosh artist. And Helen Farnsworth Mears was incredible on a national scale, not just here in Oshkosh, but we're really happy to bring this exhibition back and also start to showcase the wonderful Waldwick Gallery. We're really excited. It's just it's the latest piece in our sort of grand plan to renovate all of the museum spaces. Our next up will be working on planning our next core gallery exhibition, Deep Roots Growing City, which will pick up on the story from People of the Waters, which explores local and regional history from the Ice Age up to the fur trade. But as we know, that's not the end of the story, was the fur trade in the mid-1850s. So we're going to pick up from there and talk about some other important key Oshkosh history. So we're really excited to continue with renovating those spaces for future generations to make new memories and enjoy new stories, because the museum has a collection of over 250,000 objects, but you get to see just such a small fraction. So being able to bring that out and showcase these stories that you wouldn't normally know about is really exciting. So we're looking forward to continuing with those efforts.
One thing that you guys do quite well, or you've been doing quite well for the last couple of years, was timely stories. Things are going on, like the one that you did was the Miss America. I mean, Wisconsin has 3 Miss Americas. Celebrate that. They were crowned in Oshkosh, Wisconsin. That was wonderful. That I thought, when I saw the publicity and the little girls and the mothers, and also proud to see all of that and to see where they turned out, that was really cool. That was great.
It was really, and it was all through relationships. Like a lot of things we do is because we have been building these exciting relationships. So the Miss America exhibition that you're talking about, the Millennium Miss America, Heather French Henry, is one of the owners of the White Christmas exhibition that we had several years ago. And that's how we connected with the Miss America, Miss Wisconsin organization, more closely, was through that exhibition. And so the timing of it all really worked out, but that relationship really, enabled us to bring, these stories to Oshkosh. Another key exciting exhibit that we're bringing up, and is through a relationship that we've continued to build, is we'll be showcasing an exhibition called Nature is Muse, and that will be in the historic Sawyer home. And that's a really unique exhibition of items pieces from the Richard Driehaus collection in Chicago. A colleague of mine works with that collection and reached out to me because Mr. Driehaus had passed several years ago and really wished that his large art collection could be enjoyed more widely by a variety of communities. And so he invited myself and our assistant director to come and visit and select pieces to showcase. So we have a number of beautiful Tiffany pieces that will be on display.
Oh my gosh.
As well in the historic Sawyer Den, which was used in Tiffany's catalogs and advertisements. So it's a really unique room. So that'll be on view in the historic Sawyer home, and several of the pieces this will be the first time they've been on display. So, and it's actually, some of the pieces are actually installed into the home. So it's really exciting, and that'll be on view. Nature's Muse, and it showcases Tiffany's design philosophy and inspiration from nature.
Well, I'm so glad that the cameraman did not have the camera on me because my mouth was open.
Yeah.
It's because you're just in awe of how these relationships start. A friend and you, and now it's going to be an exhibit.
Yes.
In that home. And I do have to say, Oshkosh should be darn proud that there were 2 families that donated their homes to have the Payne and then the Public Museum. So,
Yes.
wow.
Yes, yeah. We're really excited. And that's just one of many. So this year is going to be a big year for exhibitions. We were closed for a bit, our second floor. If you drove by the museum at all, you noticed that there was quite a bit exterior construction happening, all to preserve that beautiful architectural treasure. And on the inside, we were working on the Waldwick Gallery and had to close down a number of the museum spaces. So we really wanted to come into the 2025 like a lion and bring some exciting things for the community to enjoy. So in July, we'll be welcoming and hosting an exhibition called Tiffany's Gardens and Glass. That'll be that was put together by the Neustadt in New York, and so that'll be coming to Oshkosh in July in the Waldwick Gallery. It'll be its Midwest premiere, and we're really excited to host that. And again, Tiffany was deeply inspired by nature, and so Tiffany's Gardens and Glass will have these beautiful nature-inspired pieces from the Dree House, and then we'll have several ongoing smaller exhibitions in some other areas of the museum. So people always find something new to enjoy, so we've tried to stagger it in a way where they can come several times and enjoy new things and see things from the collection. While we're welcoming in a number of visiting collections, we also think it's really important to showcase our collection, the museum's collection, our community's collection. And so we'll be putting on pieces from our marquetry and parquetry collection that will be up, and that's beautiful woodworking. Some pieces from the Kitts family who did the Apostles' Clock. They're remarkable woodworkers. Landscape paintings that'll showcase beautiful natural landscapes that'll tie into this nature and art theme that's going on. And then again, our wonderful long-term exhibitions like People of the Waters and This is Winnebago Land, which you can come and enjoy.
People of the Waters is so cool. You learn so much. And I have to say, you talk about community collections. My grandfather was a missionary with the Apache Indians in Arizona in the 1920s. And he was so proud when he donated some of his stuff to the museum, and then to see it on display, beautiful artifacts, the hand-woven rugs and the pottery and all of that stuff. So it's great that you guys utilize that stuff also, because you're part of the community.
Well, and even in People of the Waters, we try to showcase an important part of People of the Waters is our changing Native American contemporary artists. So each year we feature a new Native American contemporary artist. And this year it's Kim Crowley. We'll be changing it over in late spring, early summer to a different artist, but she did beautiful black ash basketry. She's she's from the Ho-Chunk Nation, and one of my favorite pieces is this beautiful tiny little strawberry basket, and it's just gorgeous. And so her work is remarkable. So we're really excited that even in People of the Waters, that is an exhibition that's a long term and will be up for a while, there's this changing component that also is a reminder that our indigenous communities, our Native American nations are alive. They're thriving. They're wonderful, creative communities.
And for you guys to showcase them.
Because we talk about it in the past.
We have to have you back. Because guess what? The time is running. We have to have you back to talk about more and more, because it's a great place to be. It's a great place to visit. It's a great place to tour. The Oshkosh Public Museum. I want to thank Anna for being our guest. Thank you for watching the March edition of The Place to Be Oshkosh.